Imagine opening your eyes to a future where stepping outside for even a single second is enough to freeze you solid. There are no cities, no nations, and no open skies anymore. Only an endless wasteland buried beneath ice. The last survivors of humanity are confined inside a massive train that has been traveling nonstop for the past 17 years. Yet this train isn't a safe haven, it's a moving prison. Up front, the wealthy enjoy heated cabins, delicious meals, fine drinks, and luxurious parties as if the apocalypse never happened. Meanwhile, those in the tail are packed into filthy darkness, constantly hungry, abused, and forced to survive on revolting black protein bars. Every single day, they hear the same command: know your place, endure your suffering, and never cross into the front cars. But when children from the tail begin vanishing without a trace, one man realizes the elite are hiding a terrifying secret. He decides to lead a rebellion, fighting his way through each train car toward the engine. However, the closer they get to the front, the more shocking the truth becomes. The frozen wasteland outside isn't humanity's greatest horror. The true nightmare is the secret that keeps the train running. The story opens after humanity attempts to stop global warming by releasing a special chemical into the atmosphere. The goal is to lower Earth's temperature, save the planet, and secure mankind's future. Instead, the experiment becomes a disaster. The climate cools far beyond anyone's expectations, and the entire world freezes solid. Cities are abandoned, oceans turn into sheets of ice, forests vanish, and entire nations are buried beneath endless snow. Before long, Earth is transformed into a frozen wasteland where human life can no longer exist. One wealthy visionary had already foreseen this possibility. He built a gigantic train powered by an engine designed to run forever. The train continuously circles the globe, cutting through frozen landscapes, icy mountains, abandoned cities, and endless snow. For the survivors on board, this train is no longer just a vehicle. It has become their entire world. As the years pass, the engine never stops, and humanity continues to survive. But staying alive has created a different kind of prison. The front cars belong to the wealthy, the powerful, and the privileged. They enjoy warm cabins, clean clothing, fresh meals, music, celebrations, schools, beauty salons, and every comfort that makes life feel normal. Meanwhile, the very last cars make up the miserable tail section. The rear of the train is where the poorest survivors ended up when it first began its journey. They were never given permission to board. Desperate to stay alive, they forced their way on, and ever since, those in control have treated them like dangerous criminals. Life in the tail section is harsh and miserable. The passengers are packed together in darkness, sleeping wherever they can find space. They are filthy, starving, and constantly monitored by armed guards. Their only meal is a foul black protein block, handed out as if they were nothing more than animals. Every single day, soldiers appear to remind them of where they belong. No asking questions, no fighting back, and no future to believe in. Among the prisoners is Curtis, a calm but determined man who has spent years observing everything, waiting for the right opportunity and secretly preparing. He doesn't see himself as a hero. Deep inside, he carries heavy guilt over something that happened long ago. Standing beside him is Edgar, a younger survivor who admires Curtis and treats him like the older brother he never had. There is also Gilliam, an elderly man respected by everyone in the tail section. Although he has lost one arm and one leg, the people look to him for guidance because he gives them hope when they have almost nothing left. Curtis decides the time for waiting has finally come to an end. He understands that the guards hold authority and that the people up front control every part of the train. Still, he has started to suspect something unusual. He believes the soldiers may no longer have any real bullets left. For years, they have ruled the tail section through fear alone, aiming their guns, shouting commands, and brutally beating anyone who dares to resist. But Curtis suspects the weapons are empty because ammunition would have become far too precious after all these years. If his theory is correct, the people in the tail finally have a chance to fight back. If he's wrong, every one of them will be killed. One day, the train's officials arrive in the tail section along with a cruel woman named Mason. She behaves in a strange, theatrical way and is fiercely devoted to the man who built the train. She delivers speeches about order and balance, insisting that everyone must remain in the place they were assigned. In her view, a shoe belongs on a foot, a hat belongs on a head, the tail belongs at the back, and the engine belongs at the front. During her visit, a father named Andrew panics when the soldiers come to take away his young son. Children from the tail are occasionally chosen and removed, but no one knows why. Refusing Refusing to give up his child, Andrew fights back. As punishment, the guards force his arm through an opening in the train's wall. The freezing air outside is so deadly that his arm quickly turns to solid ice before the soldiers shatter it with a heavy hammer. The entire tail section watches in shock and horror. This brutal punishment shows everyone exactly what the people at the front do to anyone who dares to disobey. But instead of crushing Curtis's spirit, it strengthens his determination. He realizes they can no longer continue living this way. Not long afterward, Curtis begins finding secret messages hidden inside the protein blocks. Someone from the front is secretly helping them. The notes reveal the right time to act and guide him on what needs to be done next. Curtis has no idea who is sending the messages, but he knows the information is far too valuable to ignore. At last, the long-awaited moment arrives. The passengers in the tail launch their uprising. As soon as the guards enter, Curtis strikes first, and the others immediately join the fight. The cramped train car erupts into chaos as people battle with their fists, metal pipes, and whatever objects they can get their hands on. The guards try to intimidate them by pointing their guns, but Curtis gambles everything and exposes the truth. The weapons have no bullets. For the first time in 17 years, the people from the tail begin forcing their way toward the front. They break through the first security doors and capture Mason. In that moment, the passengers who had spent years living in fear finally realize something unbelievable. The people in the front are not untouchable, but every train car they enter feels like a different world, and each one hides new dangers. Curtis understands they cannot charge ahead without a plan. To keep moving forward, they need someone who knows how to unlock the doors, because every section of the train is sealed behind secure gates controlled by an advanced security system. Only one person knows how to unlock those doors: Namgung Minsu, the engineer who originally created the train's security system. However, he has been locked away in prison. Curtis and his companions eventually reach the prison car, where they discover Namgung sealed inside a drawer-like compartment alongside his daughter, Yona. Namgung has become addicted to a drug made from industrial waste, and he refuses to help unless Curtis gives him another supply each time he opens a door. Curtis doesn't trust him at all, but without Namgung, moving forward is impossible. Reluctantly, he accepts the deal, making Namgung their only path toward the front. One by one, they pass through each locked door, and every new train car reveals something even more unbelievable. After years surrounded by darkness, hunger, and misery, the passengers from the tail begin seeing things they thought had disappeared forever. They enter an aquarium filled with living fish, discover clean water, healthy green plants, and spotless rooms. They soon realize the train is far more than a simple vehicle. It is a complete artificial ecosystem built to sustain life. But this discovery exposes an even darker truth. The people living at the front were never suffering. They had been surrounded by comfort and abundance the entire time, while those in the tail struggled just to survive. As Curtis and his group continue their journey, they step into a dark train car where masked soldiers stand waiting with deadly axes. These are not ordinary guards. They are warriors prepared for battle. Moments later, the train enters a long tunnel, and every light suddenly goes out. A brutal fight erupts in complete darkness. The masked soldiers attack without mercy, while Curtis and the others struggle to defend themselves. The passengers from the tail are not trained fighters. They are desperate survivors facing skilled killers inside a cramped steel corridor. One after another, people are struck down, and terrified screams echo through the darkness. When the train finally leaves the tunnel, the survivors are met with a horrifying sight. Many of the tail passengers have been killed. Edgar has been taken prisoner, and Curtis faces an impossible choice. He has a chance to rescue Edgar, but at that exact moment, Mason tries to escape. Curtis is forced to make a painful decision. He can either rescue Edgar, the young man who completely believes in him, or capture Mason, the woman who is the only person capable of helping them move toward the front of the train. Curtis chooses to continue the mission, and Edgar loses his life. Curtis survives the fight, but the loss damages him even more. This is no longer just a fight for freedom. It has become a journey filled with sacrifice. After the battle, Curtis keeps moving forward with a much smaller group. Every step they take comes with a heavy price, but there is no turning back now. As they enter more sections of the train, the difference between the front and the tail becomes even more shocking. One carriage contains people preparing sushi using fresh seafood, while another is a classroom where children are being taught to worship the train's creator as if he were a god. The teacher calmly fills their minds with lies, telling them the engine will last forever, the creator must be respected, and the people in the tail section are nothing but dirty, useless, and dangerous. The children accept these words without question. Curtis realizes that the people in control are not only using the train to control their lives, but also manipulating their thoughts. Without warning, another violent attack begins. The teacher reveals that she is armed, and chaos spreads through the carriage. Curtis and his remaining fighters barely escape alive, but more members of the rebellion are lost. Their numbers continue to fall, yet Curtis refuses to stop because he believes reaching the engine is the only chance to change the system. As they move further into the front sections, they finally enter areas filled with unimaginable wealth and luxury. The wealthy passengers here live as if the outside world never collapsed. They spend their days drinking, partying, using drugs, and enjoying every luxury the train can provide. They relax in saunas, visit clubs filled with bright lights, wear expensive outfits, and live a life of endless comfort. To them, the suffering of the people at the back of the train is something they never have to see. Curtis watches them celebrate while remembering that his friends were dying only a few carriages behind him. The injustice becomes almost impossible for him to accept. However, Nam-gung is focused on something completely different. He keeps staring through the windows instead of looking toward the engine. Unlike the others, he believes there may still be hope outside the train. He has noticed that conditions outside are changing. The frozen landscape is not the same as before, and he believes the ice may be starting to disappear. In his mind, the world outside could eventually become a place where humans can survive again. Curtis refuses to focus on that idea. His only goal is reaching the engine, because he believes the engine is the source of all power. Whoever controls it will control the future of the train and everyone living inside it. But Nam-gung sees things differently. He believes the train itself is the cage, and taking control of it will not create true freedom. Instead of capturing the engine, he wants to escape and return to the outside world. Their disagreement creates a conflict between them. Both men want freedom, but they have completely different ideas of what freedom means. After fighting through the train's most dangerous and unbelievable sections, Curtis finally reaches the last area before the engine. By this point, only Curtis, Nam-gung, and Yona remain. Then Curtis reveals the dark secret he has kept hidden for many years. When the people from the tail section first broke into the train, they had nothing waiting for them. There was no food, no rules, and no hope for survival. Desperation quickly took over, and people were pushed into doing terrible things. The strongest attacked the weakest, and many committed actions they would regret forever just to stay alive. Curtis finally admits that he was part of that darkness. He remembers those first brutal days and the pain they caused. He remembers how Gilliam gave up parts of himself to prevent everyone from turning into animals. The old man made sacrifices to help others survive, and his actions became the moment that changed Curtis forever. For years, Curtis has carried the weight of his past and blamed himself for what happened. That is the real reason he wants to reach the front of the train. He does not believe he is a hero or a perfect man. Instead, he believes someone must accept the guilt and put an end to the cruel system. Then the door to the engine finally opens. Curtis is welcomed inside and comes face to face with Wilford, the man who created the train. Curtis expects to find a ruthless villain, but Wilford appears calm, intelligent, and surprisingly friendly. He greets Curtis as if their meeting was planned from the beginning. Then the shocking truth is revealed. The rebellion was never random. It was carefully controlled. Wilford and Gilliam had secretly been working together all along. The messages, the timing, the uprising, and even the deaths were all part of a plan designed to restore balance on the train. Because the train has limited resources, too many people create a problem. So every few years, Wilford allows a rebellion to happen. The people at the back fight back. Many are killed, the population is reduced, and the train continues operating. The revolution Curtis believed would bring freedom was actually another part of the system he was fighting against. Even his anger and desire for revenge had been used as part of their plan. Curtis is completely broken by the truth. Then Wilford makes him an unexpected offer. He wants Curtis to take control of the engine because the train needs a new leader. Wilford explains that he is getting older, and Curtis has already shown that he has the strength and determination needed to take his place. The engine can never be allowed to stop. The balance of the train must remain unchanged. The people at the back must continue suffering, while those at the front keep their comfortable lives. The system must go on. For a brief moment, Curtis considers the offer. After all the pain, losses, and battles he has survived, he has finally reached the place he always wanted to see. He has the chance to control the engine and become the person in charge of the entire train. But then Yona discovers something hidden beneath the floor. A young child from the tail section is trapped inside the machinery. Curtis learns that the engine does not continue running by itself. Parts of it have broken down over time, and because adults cannot fit into the narrow spaces inside the machine, Wilford uses children as replacements. The children taken from the tail are secretly forced into the engine, becoming part of the machine and keeping the train alive. Curtis finally sees the horrifying reality. The train is not protecting humanity. It is surviving by destroying the lives of the most vulnerable people. The entire system depends on sacrifice and suffering. This discovery destroys the final belief Curtis had in the train. He rejects Wilford's offer and gives up the chance to become the new leader. Instead, Curtis chooses to save the child trapped inside the machinery. At the same time, Namgung prepares his explosive drug and uses it to break open the train door. Namgung believes the outside world might not be as deadly as everyone thinks, and escaping the train could be their only chance for a true future. The explosion rips through the train, and at the same time, a massive avalanche strikes. The unstoppable machine that had carried humanity for 17 years finally comes to a halt. The impact destroys the train cars and brings the entire system crashing down. The world that existed inside the train falls apart, and most of the passengers do not survive. The structure that controlled every aspect of human life is finally destroyed. However, two people manage to escape the wreckage alive: Yona and the young boy from the tail section. They slowly climb out of the destroyed train and step into the frozen world outside for the first time. They are no longer trapped inside metal walls. They are standing on the real Earth. The air is freezing, the snow stretches endlessly, and the landscape appears completely lifeless. But then they witness something that changes everything. A polar bear appears in the distance, still alive. This single moment proves that life has survived beyond the train. The planet is not completely dead, and humanity's future may not depend on staying inside a machine after all. The story ends with a powerful message. For 17 years, people believed survival meant accepting a system built on control, inequality, and sacrifice. But perhaps true survival was never about protecting the train. Maybe it was about finding the courage to leave it behind and search for a new beginning. With that final glimpse of hope, finally the story ends with the narrator thanking the viewers and asking them to like and subscribe to the channel to support his 2 days edit.